Hi, I'm Vanessa from SpeakEnglishWithVanessa.com. Today I have a special guest for you. She's Shayna from the super popular YouTube channel and website Espresso English. She's here today to help you learn 3 phrasal verbs with multiple meanings. We're going to do this through conversation so you'll be able to learn them naturally and enjoy yourself. Let's get started. Hi, Shayna. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Hey, Vanessa, I'm glad to be here.
Yes. So I'm so glad to have a special guest who is also an English teacher, and a lot of people watching this might already know you, but can you introduce yourself a little bit to them?
Yeah, okay, my name is Shayna. I'm from the US and I used to live in Brazil where I taught English, and now I teach exclusively online at my website, espressoenglish.net.
Wonderful. And how long have you been doing that?
About almost 5 years now.
Wow. So the online world is expanding. You've been doing that for quite a few years now. That's awesome.
Definitely, I've got students all over the world, so it's really fun.
Yes, and today we're here to talk about a huge topic that a lot of English learners love and hate and really need because it's part of daily conversation, and that's phrasal verbs. So thanks so much for helping to teach about that and explain about it today.
Absolutely. A lot of native English speakers don't even think about phrasal verbs or even know what they are, but English learners, when they come to the US or Canada or Australia or England, encounter these phrasal verbs a ton, right, in daily life. So I've got 3 of them here that actually have multiple meanings, so maybe we can chat about those.
Yes. So maybe English learners know some basic ones that have one meaning, but they might not know another meaning. So it's time to learn them in maybe a different way. I think you've got a really cool method for that.
Yeah, so the first one, let's start with maybe one that's a little bit easier. So the first one is workout. And I thought of two different definitions for workout. Can you think of what they are, Vanessa?
Sure. Well, the first one I thought of was just exercising, like working out and lifting weights. I gotta get fit.
Exactly. And I think actually a lot of English speakers will say, I'm going to go work out instead of exercise. We don't, usually use exercise so much, but we say, I'm going to go work out. I like to work out in the morning before going to work. That was a great workout yesterday. Now I'm feeling really tired and sore. So yeah, definitely workout for exercise. And what about another meaning for workout? Can you think of anything else?
I think if I were to use it in another way, maybe you could use it to talk about like resolving a conflict. Like we need to work out this problem, or we've got some tension in our relationship. I hope we can work it out.
Exactly. You'll hear people say like, it was a little bit difficult, but in the end, everything worked out. It resolved itself. So yeah, it's a totally different meaning, right, from exercise, but it's also pretty common. And so you'll hear people say, yeah, we need to work out our differences, or we need to work out some of these problems, or everything worked out, and that means it's a good thing. It ended nicely. It resolved in a good way.
Yeah, and that could be a huge misunderstanding if English learners only know the first definition, and then you said something about your boyfriend. Oh, we worked it out yesterday. They might think you exercised together, but really you're talking about your relationship.
Exactly. Good point. So yeah, 2 definitions for workout. So that's kind of maybe a little bit of an easier one, but the next 2 I have actually have like 4 or 5 definitions. So this should be really interesting. So
Okay, let's get ready.
yeah, okay. So the next one is back up. What comes to mind when I say back up? Just the first thing.
Backup. Well, the first thing that came to mind was a computer because I'm looking at my computer right now. Like I need to back up my videos, or we need to back up pictures or something on your hard drive.
Exactly, to make a digital copy, like an extra copy, just in case your computer breaks or you lose it, and then you have your backup, so you can have a copy of all your files. And I do that all the time, so I don't know if you do too.
I should probably do it more. I've got an older computer over here that I need to back up everything on that computer because who knows what's going to happen to it. But yeah, that's a really valuable thing to do too.
So another one for backup is when you're driving a car and you put the car in reverse and you go backwards, we also call that backing up the car, right? So you need to be very careful, check your mirrors when you're backing up. Some new drivers might hit something accidentally behind the car when backing up. So that meaning of backup means the movement, actually moving backwards, usually with the car.
Yeah, it's a little more straightforward. You're backing up the car. It's literally going back.
Yep. Now, what does it mean if your toilet is backed up?
Oh, that's another great definition. Yeah, I guess that would mean that it's stopped. There's so much in something that it can't flow freely.
Yeah, it's like it's blocked, like
Yeah.
too much of something accumulated, and now the process can't happen. I know a lot of times when you go do something in bureaucracy and they say, oh, we're receiving a lot of applications and we're really backed up. Like there's just too much coming in and we can't process these applications. So that's another meaning of backup, which means to stop moving, right? So you can also say like a road, like a highway is backed up.
Instead of saying we're in a traffic jam, we say, oh, it's really backed up. I'm going to be late.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, backed up meaning like to be blocked. And there's one more I thought of. This one has to do with think about like maybe an argument or a debate. Can you think of what backup might mean to back someone up?
Oh, like to support something. If we say we have an argument and you say a crazy statement, someone else might say, do you have any facts to back that up? Or can you back that up? Do you have any evidence?
Exactly.
I didn't automatically think about that, but we totally use that all the time.
Yes, yeah. So to sum it up, I guess it would be to for someone to support someone's position, right, in an argument or debate. So that's 4 different meanings for the phrasal verb back up, and you can see it; they're all totally different.
Yeah, backing up your computer, a car, your arguments, the toilet. Wow, that's
Right.
quite diverse. And that's the kind of thing that it's helpful to be aware of those so that if you hear someone say, I'm backed up, you probably will have no idea if you only know one of those definitions, but if you realize that they're sitting in traffic and they're on their way to meet you, you know exactly what they're talking about.
Right. Or if your friends are having an argument and one of them turns to you and say, hey, can you back me up here? Can you give me some support? Yeah, that's another pretty common phrase.
Yeah, I think that's something that, especially if people are watching movies or TV shows, you're going to hear that all the time. And it's valuable to know those in context and be aware of those situations. Cool. Thanks for sharing those 4 meanings. That's awesome.
Do we have time for one more? This one has 5.
5. Oh, let's go for it. Yeah.
Okay. So this one is take off.
Take off. Okay.
So first thing, a lot of English learners probably already know this is to take off like a jacket, to remove something, take off your shoes when you come into the house, take off a hat. So that one's the straightforward, right? You take something off.
Take it off. Literal.
Right. How about at an airport? What happens at an airport?
So if your plane is taking off, that means you're leaving, you're going to your destination, you're going up. It's taking off. That's kind of, some people like that, but some people really hate it when the plane is taking off.
Right.
Change in air pressure, but yeah, that's a great one to know. You're not taking off the plane. You're actually going up.
Going up, exactly, when the airplane goes up into the air. And a kind of related one to that is a lot of us say when kind of informally, when we need to leave a place, we say, oh, I'm really sorry, I have to take off. And that doesn't mean we're going to fly. It means we have to leave, right? Oh, I need to take off. I have to pick up my kids from school. Or, oh, it's getting late. We should probably take off. So that's kind of like a slang, a little bit of an informal way to use take off.
Yeah, it feels like that's a really comfortable expression that you'd use with people you know or people you're really friendly with, because like you said, slang. It feels really nice to say, oh, I gotta take off. See you later.
Right, right, right. And you can also take time off from work. So we use this when saying like, oh, I took a week off in July and I took my kids to Disneyland or something like that. So
Yeah.
instead of saying taking vacation, you can also say that, right? You can say take 3 days off or take the afternoon off. So it's a
Yeah, I imagine if someone only knew the first definition of taking off something and you said, I'm going to take off 3 days, they would be so confused. What does it mean to take off 3 days? So that's really valuable to know those different meanings.
For sure. And the last one that I could think of is when a product or a song or something gets popular really fast. We say it took off, like like those skateboards that go forward by themselves. What are they? Hoverboards. They kind of took off last
Oh,
year.
yeah.
Everybody was buying them. Yeah. So they got popular. We say the product took off or this trend took off. A lot of people started doing it and it started getting really popular. So totally different meaning, right?
Yeah, I can kind of imagine some similarity with a plane taking off if you think about the
Right.
popularity going up, rising. But yeah, those are all completely different meanings for takeoff, especially from the first one that most English learners are going to be familiar with, taking off something.
Right.
Yeah, product took off. That's a great one.
And so a lot of phrasal verbs are like this, right? You can't really discover what they mean just from the words themselves. You kind of have to know these different meanings.
Sure. So do you have any recommendations for how English learners, especially for just this video, as they listen to this video, how can they use this conversation and these ideas? Because we gave a lot of examples about how to use them. How can they remember those? That's a huge challenge to remember them.
Yeah, well, the first one, I would encourage everyone to, after this video is over, try to make your own example sentence with each of the phrasal verbs and each of the meanings. So you can say, oh, the last time I traveled, my plane took off at 11 o'clock at night. And just personalize it, right? Make it something that is related to your life or is true for you, and write it down, right? Because writing it is more active than just kind of thinking about it. And that's a good way just to kind of fix them in your memory.
Yeah, using your own life is going to be the most memorable thing for you because you know that really well. So making examples from your life, writing it down. I would say even too, reading your sentences out loud is just another layer to that. Writing it, reading it, going over it, that's going to be really valuable. Repetition is important.
Right. Going over it. That's another phrasal verb, to go over, meaning to review something. So you can see that these things just come out naturally, right?
Sure, definitely. Come out naturally. Come out. We use these all the time. And I think in a way it's something that English learners might feel overwhelmed with phrasal verbs, but when you attack learning phrasal verbs in this way through conversation or through context, it's much more reasonable because that's how we use them. So I wanted to ask you at the end of this conversation about your method for learning phrasal verbs. I know you've got an awesome course about learning phrasal verbs through this style so English learners don't become overwhelmed and frustrated and they can actually use them. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the course is just called Phrasal Verbs in Conversation because, I mean, when we native English speakers learn phrasal verbs, we learn them in context, right? We don't study lists. We don't try to memorize them. We just learn them kind of naturally. Like if my mom says to me every morning, Shayna, time to get up, then I know that get up means to get out of my bed. And so I try to create this experience for English learners by creating short conversations that are full of phrasal verbs, and then so people can see them in context, and then I kind of explain each one and give a few more examples, and then each lesson finishes with some quizzes just to review, and also some questions that are like, when was the last time you back up your computer? And you can use the phrasal verb in your own sentence. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
Yeah, that sounds awesome to be able to hear them in a natural context because a lot of English learners don't live in an English speaking country, or even if they do, they don't live with an English speaker. So they're not going to hear that on a daily basis. So you're giving them that experience wherever they live.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for sharing that. I'm going to share the links to your course, different phrasal verb materials below this video or with this video so that anyone watching it can learn more because you've got a lot of great material.
Awesome. Thank you, Vanessa.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks so much for this short little video. We could talk about phrasal verbs. I hope English learners learned a lot and got to meet or re-meet someone new.
Cool.
Well, thanks so much. See you the next time.
All right. Take care.
Bye. Thanks so much for watching this interview with Shayna from Espresso English. Like she said, I recommend writing your own sentences with all of these phrasal verbs. You can do it in the comments below, in your notebook. You can do it with a speaking partner, a friend, a teacher. Just use them. And to learn more with Shayna, click on the links here on the screen or in the description below the video. Thanks so much, and I'll see you later. Bye! If you enjoyed this video, be sure to download my free ebook where you can learn 5 steps to becoming a confident English speaker. You can share it on Facebook, upgrade to the listening audio version, and don't forget to check your email to get the free ebook. Let's see what it is. Alright, here is the free ebook. You can download yours today. Just click on the link and it will be in your email within a few seconds. Thanks so much for learning with me. Bye!